Look, I know that Bill Barr is currently testifying in front of the House Judiciary Committee, and I know that's big news. That's something that we should talk about. But I got to be honest, I watched about 15 minutes of that thing, and I can't go any further. I can't watch any more of it. It is absolutely disgusting the way that these elitist politicians sit up there and throw barbs at Bill Barr. Just barbs, just complete bullcrap that in a lot of cases is made up and has no evidentiary background behind it. There is no evidence to prove what they're saying. And then they don't even give Bill Barr a chance to respond. They don't even give him the time to respond to questions, if there are any. There might be a couple of questions in the middle of these monologues that these Democratic politicians are up there performing, and they don't even give Barr a chance to rebut. They don't even give him a chance. It's just literally 5 minutes of some jackass elitist politician standing up there bloviating, yelling, a lot of times yelling like a child. I saw one politician, I don't even know who he is. I've never heard of him before, seen him before. He's screaming like a little baby that he wants his time back. What is this? I can't, in this world, when I'm Joe Schmo and I'm not watching this. First of all, if I'm Joe Schmo, I'm not watching these hearings. There's no way I'm watching them, because how could I get through any of it? But even if you're a moderate and you do care enough to watch these hearings, how do you make it through that thinking the Democrats look good? Meanwhile, American cities are being ravaged and destroyed, and these politicians, these people that you have elected in many states, would rather sit up there and talk about how bad the Orange Man is in front of one member of his cabinet, his attorney general. They would rather sit up there and talk about that than do anything about what's going on in this country. You should be disgusted. I'm disgusted. I can't even watch 15 minutes of it. Hey, Jerry Nadler, who yesterday, by the way, said that Antifa was a myth. He said Antifa was a myth. Oh, all that destruction, the destruction that you guys have videotape of, that there's plenty of evidence is happening. All of that's a myth. All of it's a myth. Forget the evidence. Evidence doesn't matter to these people. You could tell them the sky is blue, and then take them outside and point up to the sky and go, guys, look, the sky is blue. Look at it. It's right there in front of you, and it's blue. And they would look at you and they would say, no, the sky is green. It's definitely green. I don't care what my eyes tell me. I don't care what the facts say. The sky is green and you're a fascist. Because that's all they have. They have myths, lies, propaganda, and then ists and isms that they throw at you when you try and present evidence to them. So I've always asked myself, I've always wondered, why? Is this a simple power grab? Is this just a group of terrible, evil people who want power? Is it as simple as that? And maybe the answer is yes. But maybe the answer is a little more complicated than that, and that is where I want to get into today's story. So FoxNews.com, we see this story, and this really is the main event of what I want to talk about today. Barr, and again, it is our hero. It is Bill Barr, and we're going to talk not about what the House Judiciary Committee is talking about. We don't care about any of that nonsense. We're going to talk about this. Barr warns of Chinese efforts to dominate industries. Yeah, duh. I mean, we know this. Why do we need the Attorney General to warn us of this? We've seen plenty of evidence that this is in fact true. He specifically calls out Hollywood and tech giants for caving into pressure. Amen, Bill Barr. Amen. Just recently, Twitter was hacked, and a lot of blue check marks weren't able to tweet. They got a lot of accounts. And this was very concerning to the blue check marks because, of course, if they're not allowed to go out there and tweet, what else are they going to do with their lives? But what's more concerning is what information did they get from those blue check marks and who was behind it? Because some of the blue check marks that were hacked were former president, disgraced president, Barack Obama, Joe Biden. Well, if these people and a lot of journalists, by the way, if these hackers got access to the direct messages of these folks and they release that, well, that could start an uprising like you've never seen. Could you imagine if you saw direct messages between journalists and members of Antifa coordinating? You don't think you'd see it? You would. What about Obama? We know his presidency is ripe with controversy. This Flynn thing could really blow up if we find something in Obama's direct messages. Now, Obama's a lot smarter than that. He's a lot more savvy than that. He's a sneakier criminal. But could you imagine? Anyways, let's get into the story. Attorney General Bill Barr delivered a dire warning to the U.S. and the world on Thursday. He said this is the most important issue of our nation and world, of the 21st century. And I wouldn't disagree with them. I don't know how you disagree with them. Again, I've wondered, what is the motivation of these politicians? What is the motivations of some of these groups? They obviously don't care about their constituency. They won't even admit that Trump bringing a lot of manufacturing jobs back to this country was a good thing. Well, it's not a good thing to them because they're losing money. But Trump's war with China, his Cold War with China, I think this hurts a lot of their pockets. I think you see things, like this Lincoln Project, okay, which is a group of disenfranchised Republicans, really, who want Trump out of office, and they make these propaganda videos and they put them out, and it's wonderful for all the never Trumpers, to have a little group that they can belong to. And people wonder, dude, why would you back Biden when Biden supports all this woke nonsense? And it's pretty obvious why, right? Because Trump's policies, specifically on financial matters and bringing jobs back to this country, and putting tariffs on Chinese goods, that hurts these guys, these individuals. I don't want to say guys, these individuals' pockets. That hits them where it hurts, and that's their wallet. Because a lot of these guys make a lot of money off of that. A lot of these guys have a lot of investments with China, with Chinese companies. A lot of these people have investments with the companies who own the manufacturing plants that take them over to China that take them over to China or Mexico or whatever, and they get a sweetheart deal because of it. They can pay labor very cheaply because China allows for slave labor. So that hurts these folks' pocketbooks. So of course they want to see Trump out of there. They don't care about any of this nonsense. They're not real conservatives. They don't care about morals or values. They never have. They care about money. They care about their pocketbooks. And that's why they're never Trumpers. Because they want him out. They don't want Biden in because Biden's a woke candidate, because Biden supports this nonsense agenda, because Biden supports not admitting that a woman is a woman and a man is a man. That doesn't matter to them. What matters to them is money in their pockets. What matters to these Democratic politicians is money in their pockets. It's power and it's money. And it might just be a little bit more influence in that. Barr is quoted as saying, the CCP has launched an orchestrated campaign across all of its many tentacles in Chinese government and society to exploit the openness of our institutions in order to destroy them. Yeah. Can you say it more poignantly? There's plenty of evidence that this is in fact happening. To achieve their goals, they're utilizing a wide array of predatory and often unlawful tactics that include currency manipulation, theft of intellectual property, cyber attacks, and espionage. Yeah, absolutely. Why do you think the consulate was shut down? Why do you think the Chinese consulate in Houston was shut down? You think it was just shut down for fun? You think that was something Trump just wanted to do? He woke up and he tweeted and he got out of the bathroom and he said, you know what? Let's just shut down this consulate. No, it's because there was evidence that this consulate was burning documents, because that this consulate was holding evidence that was withholding individuals who were stealing intellectual property from this country. That's why we did that. It wasn't just a fun thing to do. We did that because there's evidence that this is in fact happening. The Chinese Communist Party, made in China 2025, made in China. It's an initiative. And it's a real threat because China is trying to steal United States intellectual property, steal the intellectual property of these companies, and then use that to get a one-up on the United States. Now, why would we, as citizens of the United States, as lovers of the United States, who benefit from the success of the United States of America, why would we encourage this? Why would we be okay with this? We certainly shouldn't be. So why aren't more people talking about this? Why is it that this House Judiciary Committee is wasting their time with Bill Barr when they could be dealing with this? Hey, politicians, look into this. This is what I want you to spend your time looking into. You want to do an investigation? Fine. You want to get your rocks off? You're certainly not passing laws. We know you're not doing that. We know you're not bettering your constituency. We see that on the news. We see that everywhere. Your constituency is scared, afraid. They have no idea what's going on. They don't know who to trust. And meanwhile, you're interviewing Bill Barr for 6 hours. Maybe look into this. Maybe this is important. So this is kind of the main event article, right? This is Bill Barr kind of saying the what we know out loud. That's what this is. And here it is, the final quote of this article. It's so poignant, so true. The ultimate ambition of China's rulers isn't to trade with the United States. It's to raid the United States. Take that for what it's worth. That's Attorney General Bill Barr. But I want to go back because this isn't just this isn't Bill Barr. It's not like there isn't evidence that China would do something like this, okay? And we know that because we know there's a lot about China that you could look into. I'm only going to pull up some COVID-related stuff because I don't want to get my video taken down. But I would really encourage you to look into what's going on over in China right now. I think it's really important. And I think, judging your political candidate based on their candidate, not Canada, great country, your political candidate based on their stance with China and how we're going to handle that going forward, that's not a bad way to go about it. Anyways, let's go back to COVID. We forget COVID here. Evidence destroyed. Chinese doctor alleges COVID-19 cover-up. Okay? And this is from the Hindustan Times. But if you look at it here, the physical evidence at a Hunan wildlife market was destroyed. And the response to the clinical findings was slow. Duh. They want to cover it up. They probably want to cover it up because there's some evidence that says that maybe this didn't take place at a Hunan supermarket. There's a chance that this didn't take place where we were told that this was created in a lab. There's some evidence that suggests that maybe there's a little more to this than we thought. Maybe this is a biological attack on the United States. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Let's go to The Guardian. China is rewriting the facts about COVID-19 to suit its own narrative. It's trying to hide the truth about the spread of the coronavirus. This is from The Guardian. And then in probably the weirdest news to come from this front is this. So I had a friend ask me the other day, they said, have you seen this stuff about the seeds? Have you seen this stuff with the seeds? And I said, no. What are you talking about, the seeds? And they said, apparently people are getting these seeds, and I think someone they knew got a pack of these seeds from China, and they're like, what is this? So I looked into this, and here's CNN, so if CNN's reporting it. States are warning people about suspicious packages of seeds that appear to be from China. And the warning basically says, don't plant these seeds if you get them. Several states are issuing warnings after residents across the nation have reported receiving unsolicited packages that appear to have originated in China. The packages have Chinese characters. Now, what the government thinks this is an invasive species that wreaks havoc on the environment. Is this a weird way for China to get back at the United States? They think people are just so dumb that if you get a packet of seeds in the mail, you're going to plant them? And then if you do plant them, they could completely wreck the environment around your house or wherever you plant them. What is this? Isn't this just the weirdest thing? It's so weird, but it's just more evidence that things are heating up with China, man. Things are heating up with China, and I gotta say it. I just think it's going to escalate. I really do. But I think maybe it should escalate because there comes a time where the United States has to step in with all of this business of China seizing territory, with China potentially committing genocide, with China, taking Hong Kong and stripping them of their rights, stripping them of their independence. The United States of America is supposed to be the champion of democracy. And yeah, I would love to say, let's just stay in our own business. But there's going to come a time where we may have to get involved a little more than we are. And our politicians should be taking this seriously because China's making a lot of moves to advance themselves while we battle COVID, a virus that came from China. It is what it is. I'm sorry that the virus originated in China. That is not a controversial statement. It is a fact. It is a fact. And it's also a fact that China is making a lot of moves while we waste our time subpoenaing and interviewing and berating Bill Barr. Because that's what our politicians want to do. Look, our cities are burning down. They don't care. China's making moves. They don't care. At what point are we going to stand up and say, I want representatives that do care. I want representatives that are going to take my best interest in mind. Maybe those representatives don't exist. Maybe they do. I know there are a few up there that are pretty darn good. It's time that we start taking China a little more seriously. And if we don't, if we continue to meddle in our own soup, if we continue to just create our own conflict that we have within this country that could potentially have Chinese backing behind it. I mean, we don't know about these rioters or mobs. We assume it's Antifa. We have good evidence that it is Antifa. What we don't know is the motivation. And I think maybe we'll find that out. Maybe we won't. Anyways, that's my video for you guys today. If you like this video, please like, please subscribe, please ding the notification bell. We love it. That's the biggest way to support this channel. We're going to continue to put out content. We're going to have 2 more videos, hopefully tomorrow for you, maybe 1. It just depends on the news cycle and how things are going to go. Plus, we got to prep for the show on Thursday. We do audio shows on Mondays and Thursdays. Those are our audio podcasts. You can check that out. Any podcast place you go, look for Right Wing Vegan. Anyways, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you guys next time.